There's two basic kinds of APIs that are available to us in developing our Android applications. The first type of API is the API that is equivalent to the platform version of the Android OS that we're developing against. You'll see this terminology a lot when working with Android is the API level. I've got a chart here that tells you what Android platform version maps to what API level. And essentially, what you're going to want to know here is what Android OS are you targeting with your application? For example, a popular target right now is to target 1.6 so that you hit a majority of the devices. And the difference in the API from 1.5 to 1.6, 1.6 has a lot more features and it gets better from there on. So you got to think about two things here. What are the capabilities that you need and what platform are they available in? And then what is the user base that you're going to make your application available to or not available to by choosing a specific platform version? Most of the time, the platform versions are going to be forward compatible. So, for example, the Pacemaker application I developed, I went with Android 1.6, which allowed a very large user base, and I only used features from 1.6 and below. If you wanted to use some new features that were in 2.3, you would have to target the 2.3 platform, and people with lower API version phones wouldn't be able to use your application. The other kind of API are the APIs that are generally available to the phone. That these APIs are available regardless of the Google API level. Some of these are things like location services, which would be more than just GPS. It could be Wi-Fi location. However, the phone tells you that it can get your location data, that would constitute the location services. The telephony services, which are things like the dialer. You have access to this from your application. You can call out and you can even find out when a call's coming in and do something or hang up or answer calls. So you have a lot of power here that and on any other mobile OS, you're probably not going to be able to intercept phone calls. So when I say Google is open and Android OS is open, that's one of the ways that it's really open. Audio and video, you can play back lots of different audio and video formats from MP3s to videos, and it's really simple. It's actually very simple to do with the APIs. Web browser, one thing that you can do with your application is include a web browser right in the application, and it'll render for you, and you can control that web browser and even interact with the DOM inside the web browser. And then, of course, one of the more popular ones is Google Maps. You can set up for your application to use a map or call out to Google Maps directly. So this is a very useful feature, especially if you're doing anything with GPS and location services. You can plot on a map very easily using the Google APIs.